Okay, so this is a story that one of my elementary school teachers used to tell us. It comes from China, and the story is about an old man and solving a puzzle. So, there once was an old man who lived a relatively quiet life in the countryside, and this old man was renowned for his superior intellect and general wisdom. A lot of people would come from around to ask questions, get advice, so on and so forth. So this man garnered a really wide reputation. One day there was a young noble who approached his cottage and offered the old man an opportunity to test his wisdom. He told the old man that he would like him to return back to the young noble's property and solve a challenge. The old man was curious. He wondered what this challenge was. So the noble stated that he can't tell him due to the terms of the challenge. However, he was willing to make a barter with it. So if the old man won, the old man would receive the noble's property, his like horses, his lands, so on and so forth. But if the young noble was able to successfully blunder the old man must teach the young noble the secrets of his wisdom. And so the old man reluctantly accepts, and they begin traveling back to the noble's land. It's about high noon when they get back to their land, and the young noble approaches a large barn, and inside the barn, there are thousands upon thousands of variants of different flowers and plants that are made entirely out of origami. And there are like vines coming down from the ceilings. There's, just flowers stacked on top of each other. It's a mess. The noble states to the old man, "This challenge requires you to find the one real flower in this entire barn, and you have until sundown to do it. If you cannot do it, you must teach me the secrets of your knowledge. But if you can do it, I'm obligated to give you my property." So the old man begins the challenge. He goes around plucking flowers here and there, examining every little thing, but he can't find it. So after a few hours pass, the old man, he barely gets through a quarter of the flowers that he has to pluck, and he still hasn't found it. So later on that evening, it's about 5 p.m. or so, the young noble approaches and states, "Hey, old man, your time is almost up. I see you still have a long way to go." He's essentially telling the old man to get ready to tell him the secrets. And the old man remains stone silent and continues plucking the flowers, right? And so when the noble leaves, the old man shouts, "Hey, wait, can I make one request?" The noble is willing to oblige this old man, and he asks what the request is. The old man states he's old, his lungs are old, it's getting really hard to breathe in this very stuffy barn. Can you please leave the doors open? That way I can breathe better while I'm finishing trying to find this flower. The young noble, he sees this as a reasonable request, so he leaves the door propped open, and the old man continues plucking the flowers again. And after about half an hour or so, the old man notices a bee flying through the barn door. And instead of chasing it out, he decides to go walk over to the corner of the barn and sit down, stone silent, stone cold. This man's not moving. Uh, and he notices the bees flying around the room and, buzzing and swooping in and there. And eventually, the bee ducks into a small kind of like collective of flowers in the opposite corner of the room that's like buried underneath a bunch of other layers of flowers and lands on the single flower. The old man notices this and he goes over and plucks the flower and presents it to the noble, and the noble is obligated to give the old man his property. And so the moral of this story is If a situation is hard, you don't need to, stress yourself out thinking about how to do it. Eventually, if you keep working at it, you'll find a solution, or a solution that is unexpected may present itself.